Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kara and I am back in the DR after visiting my family in Pennsylvania for the holidays. Today I just wanted to give you a few things that you should keep in mind and remember to do if you're traveling to the DR, especially from the US, which is my experience. So let's jump right into it. The first thing is that there is an e-ticket you have to fill out. You can find it online or your airline might email you about it and you can access it through a link in an email, but this is something you need to show them when you check in. So you should probably complete it beforehand. It's going to ask you simple questions like where you're staying, how long you're staying, your flight number, all those sorts of things. And as well, it will ask you about COVID symptoms if you've experienced any symptoms in the past 72 hours. So that is something you need to make sure you fill out before you check in, as you'll need to show it, and there's a code that they are going to enter into the information when they check you in at the airport. That is also something you have to do when you leave. There's an exit e-ticket or an exit form. You have to do it when you leave. It's basically the same thing again, and you'll say where you're leaving from, so the airport and the flight number and all of that. This is something that I had to do more recently. I think when I originally came here a while ago, it was not something I had to do. I'm not sure if it's more recent development, but it is for me. The second thing to know is that you do not need a negative COVID test or your vaccination card to travel to the DR. This might be confusing because I know for me, I flew with Delta and they kept emailing me saying, make sure you have all your requirements, make sure you have your negative test, make sure you have all this and this and this, but they just want you to check the requirements for the country that you are going to. Traveling to the DR, you don't really need anything besides the e-ticket, as I already mentioned, so that really didn't help me at all. I was just a little extra stressed thanks to those emails. But I was confident that I knew I don't need a negative test and I don't need a vaccination card, even though I have the vaccination card. So I just had to rest assured that I knew what I was doing. So you don't need anything, even though your airline might email you and tell you that you do. They just want you to check and be sure. The third thing that you should know is that at the airport, when you're leaving to come to the DR, they might ask you, if you're staying long term, they might ask you about proof of residency or a return flight. It's not uncommon for countries to ask for a return flight when you're going to their country, especially if you are going on a visitor's visa, a tourist visa. But this is the first time I've been asked about the DR. I might have said the wrong thing because it's always a little tricky because you're only supposed to stay for up to 30 days technically, and then after that you pay a fee to stay longer. And even when I was filling out the e-ticket, I said I was staying for 20 days because I had been trying to fill it out before. I selected as close to the truth as possible, which was 120 days, and it asked me to pay money at the end, which I was like, no, I don't usually have to pay money for this the past couple times I've done it. So I went back and selected 20 days and then it was fine. Anyways, the process here is a little weird because of that. And they did ask me for a return flight or proof of residency because I said I was coming to work, which you also should never say. So my bad. Then that made them question if you have a return flight because you're only supposed to be here for 30 days at a time or less. So what happened is that I bought a return flight right there. But luckily with Delta, you can cancel within 24 hours and get your money back. So that's what I did. I'm not returning in 20 days, but you know, like I said, this whole process is just sort of jumping through hoops because even though I might not be here 100% the right way, they still have a way for you to stay here without residency, and that's just paying the exit fee when you leave. So that's what I do. I just pay the exit fee since I stay here for months at a time. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew you might need to show your return flight, or you might need to show that you have residency in the DR if you're coming here. Of course, the return flight, that's common in other countries, especially people trying to come to the US on a tourist visa, they will have to show proof of that. So it's not unreasonable to ask for that. But for me, not even knowing what my school schedule is next month, I haven't even been told when the school's ending in June. I just know it's towards the end. So I don't have a return flight. But when they asked me that at the airport, they told me it was something new that had started on November 1st, asking for a return flight or residency. But talking to other expats, I heard that it's only just recently been enforced and has always been in place. So my advice to you is just have one of those ready. And if you do get a return flight that you're not planning on keeping, make sure you buy it close enough to the time that you can cancel it within 24 hours and get your money back. That said, your experience might be completely different from mine, especially if you're just being a tourist here and coming for a few days or a few weeks. So I know lots of people have different experiences, but I don't want people to be left in the dark and be surprised when they arrive at the airport and are asked for a return flight. I just wanted to put that information out there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it helps someone and maybe you learned something new that'll be helpful if you have a trip to the DR coming up. And with that, I'll close out the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.